Hail! Thrand here, and I'm here with the Khasi Sword from Medieval Shoppe. And I'd like to say that I'm very happy that they helped sponsor the episode because they helped us obtain a wild boar. So there is a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. We will be testing on a hog carcass, just like Forged in Fire. So if you've seen the kill test in Forged in Fire and you watch Forged in Fire regularly, some people consider it a family show. It comes out every week on the History Channel. Feel free to watch. It's not going to be much more graphic than that. We're just testing a blade, just like on Forged in Fire. And I have the, some people would call it a Naga Dao right here, razor sharp, ready to go. So we're testing the blade, and we're also testing it to see what it would have done historically used by the Khasi people. We are by no means, nor Medieval Shoppe, nor I, endorsing using this, if you acquired it from them, this replica, and testing it on actual living animals or harming people with it or using it as a weapon. It's strictly a historical test. If the YouTube senses are out there listening to me right now, like I said, we are doing the Forged in Fire kill test that Doug Marcada does every week. And it has advertisements on it, and it should be considered completely acceptable. That hog was killed in a humane way. Another disclaimer for some people might try to say something like that. It was killed in a humane way, and it was done because it was a menace. It is out there eating all the deer corn, eating all the fields up that the farmers are planting, and it will eat and eat and eat and reproduce and reproduce and reproduce till it starves to death itself. So they're so abundant here in Texas, these boar or wild hogs, the feral hogs, that they have no limits on hunting them, and we do eat them. So on top of it, if you're a vegan, you might not like hearing this, but I am going to consume this when I get done. So we are processing it theoretically. We're going to test the blade, but we're processing the meat. It's not going to waste. It's going in my deep freeze, and we are eating it. And the reason I'm saying all this at the beginning is I've seen flack before from people who misinterpret things and misunderstand things. So if you have a problem with the video, please immediately leave now before we start doing any sort of testing. But if you're into this sort of thing and you enjoy it, it's the most, I guess it's even more difficult than if you were trying to cut a person with it in battle or something, unless they were wearing armor, because this has the hair on it. And if the edge isn't razor sharp, the hair can turn the edge and the hide and stop the blade from cutting. So it's a very good test. They've done the exact same one with different weapons and using bores on Forged in Fire. And I really very much like that program, and I love the concept of using this blade that way. It's such a fine blade. EN45 steel and is a replica of the true Naga Dao made by the, or some people would call it that, the Khasi sword made by the Khasi peoples from northeastern India. Yeah, so let's get going. We're going to test it just as they do and see how it performs. For our first test, just like off Forged in Fire, the kill test by Doug Marcada, which I love that. He's excellent. Sometimes he cuts well, though sometimes he doesn't with some of the blades. I almost feel like maybe he doesn't like certain competitors or certain blades, so he doesn't give them the same care and love and attention when he cuts. But what I'm going to do is I'll start off with a thrust. I'm thinking about going through in this manner and see how well it pierces, because piercing the hog is the most important thing. Let's say if we were trying to stop this hog from killing us, the first thing I would think of is piercing. I would not hack at it, especially if it was charging us, because yes, this hog could be the killer of Robert Baratheon, and maybe if he had this blade he would survive. Maybe not. We'll find out. So I'm going to start off with a thrust straight through. Beautiful. Oh, I went through a rib, clean through a rib and out the other side. So yeah, I would say the hog, I don't want to be too graphic with this because this is YouTube, but we went through one side and out the other. That was an instant kill. And of course the hide, yeah, the hide and hair makes very little difference with such a cut. So, I mean, forgive us for not coming up here like we analyzed the ballistics gel and the coconut skull and the PVC bone and stuff, even though we have fake blood and we've been told maybe we should change the color to something other than red. There's no blood in this, it's been gutted. But that's why I'm not doing it, because I don't want anybody to be really grossed out by it. This is just an animal that's going to be eaten anyway, so. Make sure I have a good angle here where everybody can see this. I'm thinking about doing a draw cut. What I mean is putting the blade against it and just cutting. Ah! Hopefully I didn't damage my edge any. I think I accidentally got carried away and tipped the pipe. But yeah, that looks like bacon. Beautiful draw cut. And it cut through the hair and all, so that's promising right here. Check this out. I mean, I don't want to be too graphic. There's no real blood or anything, but that was a nice slice. And that's about where I'm going to need to cut to process it anyway, so that was pretty good. The problem I hate about this frame we're using is it's easy to hit that metal, and you don't want to hit that metal. The bullet wound was through the neck and out the other side, so dog died pretty much instantly. I'm thinking for our next cut, we can probably just try to cut the head off. I never see them do that on Forged in Fire with a bore like this. I won't hit the skull, and it's not because the blade's not strong enough. It's because I think it will be futile, maybe damage the edge too badly to do better cuts, like maybe try to do a body cut like they do to go through it. So I will go for the neck. Ah! Ooh, we did not get the head completely off. I think I hit a little high, but it's almost totally removed. Think I should hit it one more time?
Well, we kind of need to get off.
Oh. Ah. Let's get that out of here so it's not too grotesque. But definitely, with all the bone that I went through, it wasn't a one-hit cut. The blade is forged well. It gave and snapped back to true. So this is very good. We shall continue from here. It will kill. Yeah, I think it will. That first cut would have definitely been a kill. But what I did is I hit a little high, so it's hard for me to show that, but I hit extra shoulder and muscle area there, so not quite shoulder, but there's a lot of bone in that region. I think much thicker than a human spine and a lot more muscle. So yeah, the first cut went almost all the way through, and then it took two more to totally finish it off. What I'm thinking about doing now, I want to try the cross the body cut, because that's going to be cool. I think the whole thing will fall. I really do. This is razor sharp. But I'm thinking about coming back where I did the draw cut, and it's really, really deep, and just coming down and seeing what it does. Oh! I kind of pull that, and we hit a lot of stuff here, like the shoulder. Let's try again. I'm going to try to choke up on it a little bit. Oh! Wow. That went all the way to the bone and hacked into the shoulder. Try one more a little higher. Oh! Yeah, I think at this point we're just hitting some major shoulder bone. It is going through all the bone. I'm going to have to trim it properly to remove that shoulder. But yeah, I didn't take it clean off. I was hoping maybe it would, but that's still a lot of bone to go through, so I think that was impressive. I might go ahead and try the cross the body cut next. The blade has popped back to true. The edge has been retained very well. I won't lie to you if I tell you that I have hit it after hitting the bone a couple of times, hit it up with a stone, just a hand stone. The construction's all steel and holding up extremely well. You can grip it anywhere you like. It does have a round handle. I don't find it that hard to keep the alignment. I haven't had trouble with the alignment yet. I would like to be able to maybe swing something like this at a longer distance, but I want to keep a good what do you call it, edge alignment. Right now I'm going to try coming across and trying to do the body cut that you always see on Forged in Fire, and see if we can just cut that hog in half. I'm thinking it's very plausible if I hit right on. Ah! Almost. We went all the way in, it curved and hit the spine. That is very, very close. That is definitely a kill. It might have been my, it's hard to tell. Hogs have weird structures compared to pigs or boar do. It's basically shaped like a boar, but I went through a lot of hip bone. I hit a little higher than I planned. Planned on hitting a hair lower. Let's try that one more time. Whoa! Whew. That time was way lower and threw a bunch of ribs right here at the bottom. So I do want to see it in half. Let's try a couple more hits. I'll just come straight across. Ah! Oh. Oh. And we finally got it. This thing is tough. I'm not gonna lie. The boar is tough as can be. But that went through a lot of hip bone. I was hitting hip bones. I don't know if anybody could tell this wasn't just the spine. So yeah, it took a few hits. All in all, the blade is excellent. It held up to that. I definitely think that Doug Mercado would say this would kill, or it would kill. It would have been nicer to have a clean cut all the way through, but the only thing that was stopping it is the areas I was hitting. I didn't get the clean cut that I wanted. I swear, there's a certain spot there, if I could get it, and there's not much of it on this hog, or this wild hog, or feral hog, or boar. Most people call them boars around here too. Yeah, it's just too hard to hit it without hitting other bone structure in the way. But I am highly impressed with the blade. It's held its edge. It stayed true. It's not bent in any way. Of course, there's nothing loosening up. It's all solid steel. I highly recommend the Medieval Shoppe blade if you're into rare and exotic style blades, especially a Khasi sword, a rare Indian sword from India, northeastern India. I think they have done an excellent job. You can even see where it's hand hammered and forged, the metal. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was done by hand by looking at it. Beautiful, nice to add to your collection. Oh, by the way, I did try out for Knife or Death and sent them in a cutting reel and talked to them and stuff. Never got back with me. But one day, if I ever get a chance, I would love to be on Knife or Death. I don't forge my own weapons, but I love cutting, and I enjoyed doing this very much. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. I hope the disclaimer helped everybody too. And as always, farewell.
If you'd like to help support the channel, you can always support a Thrand YouTube channel shirt that you can get over at viralstyle.com at the Thrand merchandise store. We have coffee mugs, koozies, a wide variety of shirts and hats. You can also help support us on Patreon, and if you do that, you'll also get exclusive content that can only be seen there.